Welcome to another episode of Sword Art Online Lost Song. Today with Snazzy Studios 90. I'm Snazzy, thank you ever so much for watching today, and as announced on the actual feed, we've now hit finally 1,000 total views. Thank you ever so much for all you guys who have watched my shows. Thank you ever so much, you've all been awesome. Please continue the support to get it up to the next margin, which will be 2,000 of course, but you know, that's if you obviously would like to obviously watch it, of course, that's not a problem of course. But if you'd like to obviously take an interest in any of it at all, please don't hesitate to follow me. That would be absolutely awesomely fantastic. So without further ado, let's begin the show, and we're going to now obviously hunt a dungeon which somehow for some reason is invisible. So what I'm going to do is now enter and continue with the show. So here we go. So what we're going to do now is going to go through the teleportation gate, and we're now going to go and head towards the Island of Meadows and hunt down the random dungeon which seems to be invisible, but for some reason, I don't know why, but it seems to be mysteriously hidden. So what we're going to do is fly and find out where the mysterious dungeon is. So what I'm going to do is going to have a look and see where it's going to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head towards this one here. It's most likely going to be this one, but it's best to always check which dungeon it's going to be. Because for some strange reason the dungeon seems to be invisible. I don't know why that is, of course. So it's definitely not that dungeon there, of course, because obviously it seems to be visibly shown. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to fly even further to find out where this dungeon is and why is it not physically showing right in front of me on the screen. So what I'm going to be showing you today is I'm physically going to be showing you around the various different areas, and as you can see on this screen, the orange light, for some reason it's around here, or should I say it's below me, but it's not physically in format where it is. So the dungeon is somewhere over here, but it's not in clear indication where it could be. It could be below me, it could be above. That's the question of the day that it seems to be asking myself and many other people who obviously play Sword Art Online, of course. So as you can go along, you can obviously, I'm going to fly up to make it a lot more easier, of course. And so, as you can see here, the dungeon is somewhere along here. So it's not explainable where it is because it's floating here, which doesn't make any sense because I'm literally right on it. Or is it underneath? That's the question of the day that many people seem to ask. So to get you into the spirit of it today, I'm now going to get some slimes thrashed to death and boned to the ground in some cases. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to do some fighting, killing, whatever you kind of want to call it, name it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now crush them and not get smacked in the head by a slime, which in some cases isn't a pretty sight. It's quite a bad feature, of course, like that, like so, of course, as you can clearly see. So now what I'm going to be doing is, as I've got really good teammates, as you can see on the screen, I've got Yuki and Alicia Rue, which is a form of cat person. The cats are very good races and are very useful to help in battles. especially when it comes to a dreadful dragon, which died humorously on many occasions, so many times. But in all fairness, it's quite funny because I find it amusing. It doesn't make me angry or nothing, it makes me laugh because the fact that, you know, you get killed by a dragon, it's not exactly every day you get killed by one. So, to be fair, it's humorous. And that's why sometimes taking games so seriously isn't the point of the nor point. So now I'm going to have a bit of a mooch around to find out where this dungeon is. Because it speaks to me in a sense of, oh yeah, it's somewhere around here, but you've got to find it. Yeah, it's somewhere around here, but my answer is where? That's the question it's going to be always, but it's saying it's here, but where, unless it's above. But before I even hit the altitude point, it's actually above there. So we've just got to find a decent altitude point to get to that dungeon, because it seems to me it seems to be above. And by the looks of it, it looks like it is above. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look on the map, and by the sounds of it, I'm on the ground, but it's actually above me. Because it's actually glowing, but I hit the altitude point before I even get to that point. So I'm going to find a nice ledge so I can get to it in such a way so I can land on it neatly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a really nice high point. So I'm going to fly again, and I'm going to get up to a really neat high point and get to where I need to go to get up there. But obviously, for those who don't know, there is an altitude limit. So if you do basically go too high, you will fall to the ground. But not to worry, of course, but then you always get a chance to keep trying, keep getting up there. There isn't a bad way of doing it, it's just you have your own strategies and that kind of thing, to be fair. So by the sounds of it, it's up there. So I'm going to land because you can't go any higher than that by the looks of it. Because by the looks of it, it's barred, as you can see here. The line is clearly indicated. Because there's always an altitude limit, as you can clearly see there. So go down a little bit. And go around, but by the sounds of it, the dungeon is clearly not visibly to see. And this is in order to get to clear the final area, of course. So the only indication that is possible to find the dungeon is if you go through other dungeons that you've already been through. But in some cases it's not always that straightforward. Because it's clearly saying it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's not visible. So that's one dungeon there, but it's not that one because obviously it's saying it's over this direction. But whenever you look at where it is, it's not visible. So every time you keep going towards it, it's like it's not there. So what I'm going to keep doing is I'm going to head towards that location, but obviously by the sounds of it, it's not where it's meant to be. So I'm going to go up onto this hill here, land on it, and then have a look to see where specifically this dungeon is. So because you get a bit more of a clear indication of where it's going to be. So let's have another detailed look. So as you can see on the map here, I've done all those dungeons right here, and then the one that's flashing is where it is, but by the looks of it, it's on a higher point. So now the point is in question, how do you get up there? How do you get to that dungeon? Because it's the final dungeon of this area, which is called the Island of Meadows. And that's the question of the day, which it seems to be fair. So the dungeon is floating around here, but the indication is not stating where it's going to be. So what I'm going to do from this point at this moment in time is I'm going to carry on killing more beasties. Because the other objective is also to clear the area, so they'll be done in sections. It's not all done in one go, of course. Also, if anybody's got hints and tips of how to do, like, obviously find this dungeon, please obviously comment on the feed, and obviously I will respond to you and find out, obviously, any questions you would like to ask about the page, anything at all, and if you would like to any improvements, any at all, that's absolutely fine as well. But the only one thing I will definitely say is obviously no swearing and no rudeness, just obviously basic, obviously simple understanding of how to physically say, you know, this is what needs to be better, you know, this is what needs to be improved. That's absolutely fine by me. I completely understand that. I will take that into account, and that's not a problem. So for some reason it's saying it's around here, but what I don't get is why it's not visible. Is it up above, or... And the question is, how do you even get up there? And as I said at the beginning, thank you ever so much. We've now hit 1,000 views for Snazzy Studios 90. I absolutely appreciate all the support. The continued support will be absolutely fantastic. If you like what you see, please follow me. I will absolutely appreciate it as much as possible. If any hints and tips for anything at all, any games or any games you would like me to walk through, I will physically put them on this page on here, and you'll be able to get to see it in full format and glory. So from now until obviously till next time for episode 8, thank you ever so much for watching. I'm Snazzy, this is Snazzy Studios 90. Thank you ever so much for watching, and by next episode we'll hopefully find the dungeon which is not shown or physically in physical form. Until then, thank you ever so much, and I hope you have a good evening, and goodbye.